So, one is connective tissue framework and another is the parenchyma. Connective tissue framework, it is formed by the capsule. Capsule is the outermost covering of the spleen. From the capsule, there were inward extensions. These are known as the trabeculae. Okay, so these are also connective tissue framework. Another is reticular stroma. Here are the reticular stroma line. It is formed by the reticular fibers and some connective tissue cells. Okay, so all these are together forming the connective tissue framework of the spleen. Another is parenchyma. Parenchyma consists of white pulp and red pulp. Okay, so these are the locations of white pulp and red pulp, and these trabeculae, they are extending from the capsule and dividing the spleen into incomplete lobules. Okay, and each lobule consists of this parenchyma, white pulp and red pulp. Next, see here, so fibrous framework of the spleen, there is a outer serous coat. We know, we have seen the spleen is covered by a peritoneal covering. This peritoneal covering is forming this outer serous coat. And just inside there is inner fibroelastic coat, also known as tunica albuginea. Okay, this is about 1.5 millimeter thick and type 1 collagen fibers within spleen. There is type 3 collagen fibers are present and some elastin, numerous trabeculae and conduit of the splenic vessels. So these are forming the inner fibroelastic coat or tunica albuginea. So here is the outermost covering is the serous coat, and this white area here you are seeing, this is the inner fibroelastic coat. Okay, next. Next we go to the capsule. Just beneath the fibroelastic coat there will be capsule of the spleen. So this pink layer outermost, this one is the capsule, and from the capsule these are the trabeculae. Okay. So capsule covers the spleen completely, lies deep to the peritoneum, formed by dense collagenous connective tissue, and smooth muscle fibers are more in some mammals in this capsule. Okay, helps in contraction of the spleen and release of blood from the spleen. Next we go to the trabeculae. These are the trabeculae, they arise from the capsule, you can see, and enter into the substance of the spleen, and they convey the trabecular vessels, which are branches of the splenic vessels. Okay, so here you can see sections of vessels within the trabeculae. These are also sections of trabeculae, you can see sections of vessel within the trabeculae. Next, next we go to the lobule of the spleen. What is lobule? All this can be asked in your viva. Spleen is important for your viva table also, viscera table. Okay. In viscera table, we will also ask other things like Harry's dictum, visceral relations, other things, peritoneal, different ligaments, blood supply, surface, borders, all those will be asked in your viscera. Okay, so lobules of the spleen, each compartment is bounded by trabecular septa. Here the lobules are incomplete. You can see these are the trabeculae. These are dividing the substance of the spleen into lobules. Okay, and it contains, this lobule of spleen contains splenic arteriole, penicillar branches and sinusoids. See this blue one, these are the germinal centers, these are the arterioles, these are venules, and here are the sinusoids. Okay, and they contains red pulp. Red pulp, these areas containing the sinusoids and Billroth cords, these are the red pulp, and white pulp is formed around this arteriole. Around this arteriole, lymphatic cell forming periarteriolar lymphatic sheath. Okay, and this we see as a white dot in cross section of the spleen. That's why it is the name is given white pulp. Okay, from naked eye view. Next, we go to the reticular stroma. See here this meshwork like structure formation you can see. This is capsule. From the capsule, this is one trabeculae. Through the trabeculae running this trabecular artery, which is a branch of splenic artery, and here trabecular vein is being formed by joining of the sinusoids. So these are the sinusoids, and from the trabecular artery, it is dividing into a central arteriole. Okay, central arteriole is further giving branches. These are known as peninsular arterioles. And central artery, around the central artery, a sheath of lymphocytes are forming and forming the white pulp. And lymphocytes are arranged in the central area. There is T cells. In the middle, there is B cells, and periphery there are macrophages, okay, antigen presenting cells, and the B cells proliferate and they form the germinal center. So here one germinal center has been shown, okay, and you can see these peninsular arteries, some of them are going to drain directly into the sinusoids, and some of them are opening into the red pulp within the Billroth cords, and from there these red dots are the RBCs. They are entering through the pores of the sinusoid into the sinusoids, and the blood is again going through the venules into the trabecular veins and forming the splenic veins. So this is the circulation of spleen and blood within the spleen. Okay. So these structures are forming the reticular stroma. Stroma, it is made up of reticular fibers. These fiber-like structures are the reticular fibers and phagocytic reticular cells. So these are the reticular cells, and they support the cells of the parenchyma. Okay, so this is function of the reticular stroma. Next we go to the parenchyma. Parenchyma means rounded white or grey areas which are forming the white pulp, and dark red matrix which is forming the red pulp. Okay, so together this white pulp and red pulp are forming the parenchyma of the spleen. These are important identification feature for spleen slide. Okay, red pulp and white pulp. Next, so this red pulp and white pulp can come as a short note, okay? Or histology of spleen can come as a short note. Splenic circulation is a long question in your theory paper, okay? Very important long question, splenic circulation. You also practice a schematic diagram for the splenic circulation, okay? So white pulp, it consists of about 5 to 20% of the total volume of the spleen. See these bluish rounded areas, these are the white pulps. Okay, and these areas are the red pulp. These are the sections of trabeculae containing the vessels, and this is capsule. From here trabeculae are arising. Okay. So white pulp, it consists of 5 to 20% of total volume, and there are periarteriolar lymphatic sheaths. These are formed around the central arteriole. Okay. So central arteriole is present in eccentric position. Eccentric position means it is not at the center, away from the center, okay, towards the margin. So periarteriolar lymphatic sheath are formed around the central arteriole, expanded in places by B lymphocytes, and lymphoid follicles are formed 0.25 to 1 millimeter, visible in naked eye as white opaque dots in the section of spleen. That's why the name is given white pulp. Okay, and follicles, and you can see this periarteriolar lymphatic sheath. In some sheath, germinal center is absent, and in some sheath, this light area is known as the germinal center. Here the B cells are proliferating. Okay. Follicles on one side of the vessel, that is eccentric arteriole, and follicles atrophy with age and may be absent in very elderly age. Okay. Immunity, that's why the immunity is decreased in the older age. Next, what are the arrangement of cells in the white pulp? This is asked in your viva and short questions. Okay, OSPI questions like this. So T cells are lying at the center. See, this is the location of the artery, central arteriole in eccentric position, and this is the white pulp. So arrangement of cells are T cells are located at the center, B cells in the middle, and antigen presenting cells are at the periphery. Okay, and B cells proliferate to form the germinal center on the antigenic stimulation. So in this area, generally germinal center is formed. Next, in the middle area, we have B cells. So we have discussed white pulp. Next we go to the red pulp. Red pulp consists about 75% of the total volume. Large number of sinusoids are present. Sinusoid diameters are important, 50 micron in diameter, and lined by stem cells supported by the reticular fibers. Fibrocellular network formed by the collagen fibers, fibroblasts and macrophages are present in the red pulp, and these are called Billroth cord. Okay, all these are important for Viva and MCQ. Which structures are present in Billroth cords? So fibrocellular network formed by collagen fibers, fibroblasts and macrophages, they are together forming the Billroth cord. So these are the red pulp within which Billroth cords are lying. Next. Okay, so like this you will see under the microscope. These are the sections of trabeculae. Okay, within the trabeculae you see sections of vessels, trabecular vessels, and this is white pulp. Okay, white pulp containing central arteriole in eccentric in position, and this is periarteriolar lymphatic sheath forming the white pulp. T cell in the middle, B cell in the T cell at the center, B cell in the middle, and antigen presenting cells in the periphery. Okay, and this rest of the areas are forming the red pulp containing the splenic cords of Billroth and the splenic sinuses. Mainly these white areas are the sinuses. Okay. Next. So here you can see capsule from here trabeculae arising, trabecular vessels. This is white pulp. Here are the red pulp. And one white pulp is enlarged view is here. Central arteriole eccentric position, germinal center formation, and periarteriolar lymphatic sheath. Okay, next. And here red pulp is formed by the splenic cords of Billroth and splenic sinuses, sinusoids mainly. Okay, and these are the trabeculae containing trabecular vessels. White pulp, this part, this light area is the germinal center, central arteriole in eccentric position, and these are the periarteriolar lymphatic sheath. Okay, and this is outermost covering mesothelium, and below it will be the fibroelastic coat, and then we will get the capsule. Okay, from the capsule, trabecules are arising, and these are the Billroth cords and the sinusoids in the red pulp. Okay, next. So these are the identification features of the spleen. White pulp, red pulp, trabeculae, eccentric arteriole. Eccentric arteriole will be absent in other lymphatic structures like lymph nodes and tonsil. In those structures, eccentric arteriole will be absent. You will see lymphatic follicles, germinal central, all those, but this arteriole will be absent. This is specific feature for spleen. Okay. Eccentric arteriole in the white pulp. Next. Next. Okay, so this is also a microscopic view. White pulp has been shown, capsule, and all these areas are the red pulp. Okay, next. So these are the characteristic features. Okay, periarteriolar lymphatic sheath, peninsular branches of arterioles, and ellipsoids. See here, these are the splenic arteries dividing into branches. From here, it is giving trabecular arteries. Okay, trabecular arteries are giving the central artery. Around the central artery, white pulp formation occurs, periarteriolar lymphatic sheaths, and after the formation of white pulp, it divides into branches and giving the peninsular branches. Okay, peninsular branches in this part are surrounded by ellipsoid. Some of them are going to drain directly into the sinusoids, and from there veins are forming. So this will be the closed circulation. If they are draining directly into sinusoid, and if they are opening into the cords of Billroth in the red pulp, then that is the open circulation. Okay. Here it is opening into the red pulp, and from there blood is again entering into the sinusoids and veins are forming. Here also you can see these are the sinusoids. Sinusoids are lined by these stem cells. These elongated cells are the stem cells, and they are also supported by the fibers. So here trabecular artery is giving central arteriole. Around the central arteriole, periarteriolar lymphatic sheath is forming. Here it is directly draining into the sinusoids. So this is closed circulation. Here it is opening into the red pulp and then draining into the sinusoid. So this will be the open circulation. Next. So periarteriolar lymphatic sheath is lymphatic tissue around the arteriole, mainly formed by T cells, and arteriole is eccentric in position. Next. Ellipsoid. What is ellipsoid? These terms is sometimes asked. Ellipsoid is a lamellated body here. They are formed around the peninsular arteries. Okay. A periarteriolar lymphatic sheath is formed around the central arteriole. So ellipsoid is formed by aggregation of macrophages, surrounds the peninsular arteriole, and they are well developed in cat and dog. Okay. Next. So splenic artery supplies you have seen the splenic artery in the viscera of DPS, duodenum, pancreas, spleen, and also in the cadaver. You have seen the splenic artery, tortuous splenic artery lying along the superior border of the pancreas. So this is a branch of the celiac trunk during celiac trunk branches. So this is supplying the pancreas, spleen, and giving short gastric arteries to the fundus of the stomach. Okay. So supplies spleen, pancreas, and stomach, and splenic branches are 8 arteries, and splenic artery is a tortuous artery. These are important features of splenic artery. Next. Splenic artery then divides into 5 or more segmental branches close to the hilum of the spleen. So this is splenic artery dividing into 4 to 5 branches near the hilum of the spleen. Next we go to the splenic circulation. So segmental arteries divides into trabecular arteries. Within the trabecula of the spleen, arterioles arising from the trabecular artery enter into the splenic lobules. An arteriole is invested by the periarteriolar lymphatic sheath around the central arteriole. An arteriole subdivides into 3 to 5 peninsular branches after it leaves the lymphatic sheath. Okay. So here, this is central arteriole and these are the peninsular branches. Next, some radial vessels join the marginal sinuses. See trabecular artery giving the central arteriole, periarteriolar lymphatic sheath, centrally there is T cells, These are in the middle there are B cells, germinal center formation. At the periphery, these are the macrophages. Okay, so here is the white pulp. And around the white pulp, these sinuses are lying. These are known as marginal sinus. So some radial branches from this central arteriole, they are directly draining into this marginal sinus, and some of the branches from the marginal sinus going to drain directly into the sinusoids. Here it is forming closed circulation, and after leaving the periarteriolar lymphatic sheath, it is giving penicillar vessels. Penicillar vessels are surrounded by this ellipsoid, and here it is directly draining into the Billroth cords, and from here the blood is entering into the sinusoids. So here it is forming the open circulation. Most of the blood, 90% of the blood passes through this closed circulation. Okay. So some radial vessels join the marginal sinuses. Some blood from the marginal sinus reaches the sinusoids through the slit gaps or pores. Okay. Next. So here you can see, here it is penicillar trabecular artery, central arteriole, here periarteriolar lymphatic sheath, marginal sinus, penicillar branches. Some of penicillar branches are directly draining into the sinusoids, forming closed circulation, and these are forming opening into the red pulp. So these are forming open circulation. After that, blood is entering into the sinusoids. Okay, and here one white pulp is in last view, central artery in eccentric position, periarteriolar lymphatic sheath, germinal center formation occurring here. Okay. Okay, next. So closed theory, blood passes directly from penicillar arterioles into the splenic vena sinuses. In open theory, blood passes from penicillar arterioles into the cords of Billroth, and from there into the splenic vena sinuses. Okay. This is one closed circulation, penicillar arteries directly draining into sinusoids, and this is open circulation. Penicillar arteries are opening into the red pulp. Okay, periarteriolar lymphatic sheath, and you can see the stem cells clearly here. Stem cells forming the sinusoids, wall of the sinusoids, and they are supported by the reticular fibers. Here the venules are being formed, and they will join to form the trabecular vein, then ultimately join to form the splenic vein. Next. So, splenic circulation, trabecular artery branch from the hilum of the spleen. Central arterioles are surrounded by periarteriolar lymphatic sheath here. Penicillar arterioles open into capillaries here. Sinusoids in the red pulp. Okay, and stem cells are present in the sinusoids. Red pulp veins and trabecular veins are present. Through these areas, the blood flows through the spleen. So here you can see this is trabecular artery. From here, central arteriole is arising, periarteriolar lymphatic sheath, penicillar artery, closed circulation, some open circulation, formation of the venules joined to form the veins within the trabeculae. Okay, next. So closed circulation, capillaries connect to sinusoids, red blood cells filter in and out through the slits in the sinusoids. Here, closed circulation. RBCs are filtering through the pores in the sinusoids, and these are the stem cells. And this is open circulation. Blood is directly open into the reticular meshwork. Open circulation, capillaries open into the Billroth cords. Blood cells enter the sinusoids through the slits in the sinusoids, and both of the circulation takes place. An old effete RBCs fail to re-enter the sinusoids and are destroyed by the macrophages. Okay, so this is another function of the spleen, to destroy old and dysfunctional RBCs. Next, sinusoids are lined by elongated stem cells. See, these are the stem cell schematic diagram of sinusoids. Sinusoid can come as a short note also. Okay. So sinusoids are lined by elongated stem cells. Stem cells are present in stem cells present intercellular slits or pores through which passes the RBCs and other blood materials. And cytoplasms of the stem cells contain actin myosin fibers. So they have contractile property because of presence of this actin myosin fibers. Next, so in closed circulation, arterioles are draining into the sinusoids directly. Then from here, red pulp vein is formed. From there into trabecular vein, and from there draining into the splenic vein. Next, in open circulation, peninsular arterioles are draining into Billroth cords, from there into sinusoids, from there into red pulp veins, and from there into trabecular veins. So this is the drainage in open circulation. Next, so open and closed circulation blood flow rate is through the spleen is about 150 ml per minute. Okay, and they passes through three type of transit. Rapid transit occurs within few seconds, and they passes through closed circulation. 90% of blood passes through closed circulation through rapid transit. 8 to 9% of blood passes through minutes through the intermediate circulation, and 1 to 2% passes through slow transit. They passes through hours. Okay, and they takes hours for passage, and these two can occur through the open circulation. This intermediate and slow transit can occur via open circulation, and both type of circulation can take place. Next, formation of the splenic vein. Venules run in the trabeculae unite to form smaller veins. They converge at the hilum of the spleen as 5 or more segmental veins form the trunk of the splenic vein, which run along a groove on the posterior surface of body of the pancreas and form the portal vein. Okay, so this is how venous drainage of the spleen occurs. Next, here, ageta jao. Here you can see the segmental veins are joining to form the splenic vein. Okay, splenic vein, inferior mesenteric vein is going to drain into splenic vein. Splenic vein joins with the superior mesenteric vein to form the portal vein. Okay, next. So these are the functions of the spleen. Filtration of blood done by macrophage cells in the spleen. Okay, they are lying within the reticular network and also around the white pulp, peripheral zone. They have role in the immune system by the dendritic cells and activation of T and B cells. Also helps in hemopoiesis and lymphopoiesis from persisting stem cells in the red pulp in certain anemia and myeloid leukemia. In disease condition only, there will be hemopoiesis and lymphopoiesis. And it also acts as a reservoir of blood, spleen. Okay. Next. So these are the summarization from today's class. So splenic circulation takes place both through the closed circuit directly into the sinusoids and open circuit passing through the Billroth cords. And the spleen has most important function of removing the worn out erythrocytes, that is RBCs, by the phagocytic cells or macrophages of the Billroth cord. And it not only removes the defunct RBCs but also removes the microorganisms, cellular debris and other particulate matters, harmful particulate matters. And spleen is actively involved in our immune response via the T and B lymphocytes and also in lymphopoiesis, and also helps in hemopoiesis and lymphopoiesis in some disease condition, in some severe anemia or some leukemia. In those conditions, spleen also helps in hemopoiesis and lymphopoiesis. Okay, so these are the main functions of the spleen. Functions of the spleen is asked in your Viva table in Viscera. Okay. So from today's class, you prepare splenic circulation as a long question, practice a schematic diagram for both type of circulation, open and closed circulation, and red pulp and white pulp. You prepare a short note, okay? And histology of spleen also comes as a short note. Okay, also important for your viscera table and MCQs. Okay.